started. Hey, welcome to this Activating Abundance Masterclass. This is the first masterclass I've done on this topic, and this has been on my mind for so long that I'm really excited to finally be here and share what's been going on in my life and what's going on in my mind, and how abundance is it's my word for the year. Maybe you choose a word that you have to kind of focus on for the year, but abundance is mine because I feel like the last year or so, I've just kind of had a breakthrough of an abundant mindset shift. So I just wanted to share some of the things. I think we're all on a journey trying to figure this puzzle life out. So I love it. Carrie says that her word is to release and receive. That is, I'm going to get into that a little bit of how receiving is part of our abundance cycle. So I am going to touch on that a little bit. So do you want to share what your word for the year is, if you have one? And if you want to share that, and whatever you want to share in the chat box, we're going to use the chat box today to share your comments, share experiences, share questions. If you have a question about any of this, please ask and we'll talk about it. I'll address that if I can. And if you are joining us at any point, whether you hear the recording or not, I just want to express my gratitude to you and to be part of my journey, and a friend that is interested in hearing what I'm doing, and to go along this journey with me. If you've been invited, it's probably because we have had that conversation about where we are in our life and where we want to go, and supporting and helping each other in our journey through life. So welcome. And I am going to just introduce myself a little bit. I am a mother of 5 and a wife, a sister. There's 9 girls in my family and 3 brothers. So we've had a lot of girls around growing up, and family is really important to me. I was born with a passion of health, just caring about my body, what I put into my body, how my body functions and works. It wasn't until in my 30s that I actually got into exercise. I had really focused on just trying to eat really healthy so I wouldn't have to exercise. And then when I was about 35, it wasn't cutting it. And I'd been experiencing some depression, and I read this book, Running with Angels, and it really inspired me to be more active, to get out and move. And from starting that understanding, like learning more about it from that book, I don't even remember who wrote it. That was so long ago. I was motivated to get out and start moving, and I truly believe that it would help me with my depression. And it did take about 9 months to a year for me to incorporate movement into my life regularly. And I was able to go off my depression medication at that time. And I've been able to maintain my life, my health and fitness, and keeping my depression under control just through movement and diet and exercise. Wait, let me remove the word diet, because I don't diet. I nourish my body with foods that my body needs and that are happy and healthy. So, anyway, 10 years ago, I certified as a health coach, and I loved helping one-on-one individuals create a health plan that would help them accomplish what they wanted to do and be healthy and fit. And then there came a point where I realized that just following a program. Anybody could do that, but there was something missing in my training as being a health coach, that I just could not help people with their emotional side of their weight loss journey or getting fit. And so I pulled away from health coaching, and I needed to work on myself. I needed to figure out what my body needed, how I could have a healthier relationship with food, and that I could love and accept myself regardless of the size, the number on the scale, how thin or fat somebody else was that I was comparing myself to. So I just really had to work on my emotional side of my self-image and my physical health. And so a couple of years ago, I was introduced to a program called the Creation Coach, and I certified as a creation coach. And everybody says, well, what's a creation coach? Well, a creation coach takes all the elements of creating what we want in our life and applying it to anything that we're struggling with or that we want to change, and having tools to help do that, to create more of what you want in your life. So I've certified in that, and that was like just a big shift for me, because it was me that I was working on. And through really being careful and very intentional about my daily habits, I feel like my mind, my body, my spirit, and my heart all aligned more equally. And I feel like I'm just a better person. I like myself better. I can truly look in the mirror and say, I love and accept you just the way you are. And it's been a big shift for me. So that's kind of setting up where I am right now about feeling abundant. So this abundance is really a feeling that we have, because we materialistically, or we could have a lot or a little, but we could still feel abundant. So today I want to just start where you are. Let's start where I am. Let's start where we are. And we all have a past. And I like to think that our past refines us. It doesn't define us. So the things that have happened in the past have taught us lessons, and they have gotten us to where we are right now. And all of that's important. And it's part of our story, and it's part of our life. And we can't change that. So we can look at it as, what can we learn from it? So right now, perhaps you feel a little bit curious about this abundance, and that's why you're on this masterclass call. Perhaps you feel overwhelmed with family responsibilities, or you may feel discouraged about your health or others' health, or anything else that's discouraging going on right now. Maybe you feel confused about what your life purpose is, or the direction that you want to focus on and feeling a meaningful life. Maybe you feel a little bit lost in your identity. I struggled with the identity of that I'm a mom and I have all these responsibilities as a mom. And then it shifts because your children don't need you as much as they did for a lot of years. And so there's an identity shift. Maybe you feel a little bit lost in the changes of the seasons of your life. Perhaps you feel limited in supporting adult children who don't want your advice, and you can see the direction they're going, and it creates a lot of fear and anxiety in you because you want to protect them, and they feel like they are in charge and they don't need you anymore. And that feels very stuck and limiting. Perhaps you feel disappointed that last year didn't as bring you as much joy or prosperity as you had hoped, or wherever you are right now, I want to acknowledge that those feelings are real and it's okay. It's okay that we don't feel those feelings, but that is not who you are. You don't need to identify your success or your failure depending on how you feel. Our feelings and our feelings and our thoughts are separate things. We don't have to disbelieve like your disappointment because you feel disappointed. So I think that's an important part to kind of separate out, that we are not our feelings. And I have this little board here. I'm going to try to do this with, okay, let's see if you can see it very well here. So this is where we are right now. We just talked a lot about different scenarios, or where we might be are in our feelings or our situation or our season of life. Look what I wrote, and it's backwards. Isn't that beautiful? So we're on this journey, and where we're wanting to go is probably feeling joy and happiness and fulfillment, and like we're making a difference in life, and we have a purpose and meaning. And so we go on this journey. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I have a dotted line going up this hill, and this is where we're going. And when we get there, we think it's all going to be joy, and everything will be better, and everything will, all the struggles will go away. Or when I get there, then I'll do this. Or just feeling like there's something better out there for us. And I just want to tell this little story about a hiking woman, and we'll say this woman is me. And if I'm going to hike up that hill, I would approach it with probably putting blinders on, and I would just get to the top of the hill, and I'm just focusing on it, and I'm working on it, and taking one step in front of the other. And when I get there, I'm going to have this treasure. It's going to be rewarding. It's going to be all worth it, and just get to the top. And as I'm at the top, I hear something behind me, and as I turn around, there's another woman approaching, and she's stumbling up, and she's laughing and singing, and she's carrying this basket. And I'm curious, like, well, what's in your basket? And she said, oh, well, these are the pretty things that I saw along the journey. And I think, well, I don't really remember seeing yellow flowers or golden leaves or smooth rocks. And she has this beautiful collection of things that she had gathered. And I'm thinking about that. And then there's these little creatures that crawl out of the basket. And now I'm really curious. Where did you find those creatures? And she said, oh, these are the friends that I made along the way. And I really don't remember seeing any cute creatures along the way as I hiked up that hill with my blinders on. And then I looked deeper in her basket, and she has beautiful bound books. And I said, what are your books? And she said, oh, those are the journals. Those are the messages I got from God along the way. Those are the stories, my fears, and when I got worried, and how I handled it, and my record of my journey. And as I watched her, I just thought, wow, we both ended up in the same place, but she had collected beautiful things along the way. And it made me think, what have I missed on my journey that could have brought a lot more joy and happiness along the way for me? And as I think about what she has done, I see her journey more like this. She started the same place that I did, but her journey went like this. Life is more like a switchbacks. I just drew a dotted line of switchbacks going back and forth up the hill. And I know that when I've been on a hike and it's full of switchbacks, it gives me time to pause and look back to see where I've come from and to rest, maybe stop and pick up a flower or a leaf, or see the beautiful creatures that God's put along the path to make it smoother and happier and more joy. So I don't know if you find yourself in that story somewhere, but I feel like it applies in a lot of ways. And it's a visual thing for me to really question, what am I focused on and where am I going? Am I enjoying the journey, or if I'm just really focusing on getting to the top and then can relax and enjoy the reward? So this is my question. And as I promised you that we would get into steps of how to activate abundance. So my question to you is, where is it you want to go? And how do you want to feel as you go along your journey? What do you want to feel more of? And for me, the easiest way to do this is to break it down into 4 categories. What do I want to feel more of in my body, physically, nutrition, movement, sleep? What do I need more of in my body? The second category is mind. Like, how do I want to, what inputs are helping me? Are they feeding the side of joy? Are they feeding the side of knowledge and learning more? And I'm going to just draw a little chart out here for. So if you're taking notes here, what I would do is divide a blank piece of paper into 4 quadrants. And I would put these 4 categories that I was just mentioning. So the first one I said is body. And if you're watching this, it's backwards because this is a mirror reflection. But we got body, we have mind, we have heart. What do you want to feel more of your heart? Like, where's the joy? Where is the peace? Where is the feelings? And the 4th one is spirit. What do you want to feel more of in your spirit, or your connection with Heavenly Father, or your connection with your best self, your divinity, who you were created to be, who you feel like God has put you on a mission for, just connecting with your spirit. So I like to start with dividing these 4 categories up and asking myself, what am I focused on? Where am I going? And what do I want to feel more of in these 4 specific areas? So steps to activating abundance. Activating, I chose the title of this masterclass very carefully. I'm going to ask this question and you can put it in the chat. But how would you describe activate? What's a synonym for the word activate? What does that mean to you? As I called this activate abundance, that generate, to turn on. I like those. To me, activate is, it involves a movement. Active, yes, it's moving. It's not stagnant. It's not stuck. It's the opposite. Activate is to start something, or to operate something, to go, move. So activate is a very intentional word that means you've got to put action behind it. You've got to do something to get it to go, or it's just stuck. It doesn't move anywhere. Abundance. Share with me what your how you would define abundance. What does abundance mean in a synonym? Plentiful, overflow, more than enough, like more than you can imagine or more than you can carry. I through Christmas, I was looking at qualities of Jesus, and I just really, since abundance is my word that I was really focusing on, I realized how abundant God is. God is the definition of abundance. Just more, overflowing, plentiful, and we are the beneficiaries of his abundance. He wants to give us everything that he has. So what gets in the way? Why do we not feel the abundance? Or what prevents us from being able to feel that fullness and the abundance of blessings and joy that he promises? This is the question that I feel like I've been searching for in my life, is that hiker, like, well, just get to the end and then you'll have the abundance. It will be full. The answer's at the top. I like what Rachel said as I asked, what gets in the way of feeling that abundance? She says, doubt and feeling unworthy. That is so true. It's our human nature that we question ourselves. Carrie says, that's been me too, focusing on the outcome. That I think that's, our brains are to solve problems. We just go right to the problem and we want to fix it. And so that's like, if we're in that mindset of we've got to fix this, we've got to solve it, that it becomes us trying to solve it rather than letting God help. So steps to activate abundance. Acknowledging what the good that we already have is really important in abundance. Being grateful for what we have. The opposite, I'm just going to bring up two contrasting cycles here. There's a pride cycle that when we are given a lot, we get greedy, we want more. And then that greed can lead to our destruction because we're so focused on more, and that it's our control, and it's pointing inward to us, that we're we're the one achieving these things. And the pride cycle just leads to destruction. Like it doesn't help us become our best self. So the opposite of that would be an abundance cycle. And the abundance cycle to me is to be open, to be aware of what's around me, to receive the blessings that I am given, to truly be aware of what I do have, and then to feel grateful for it. And grateful is a feeling, like feel that gratitude that you have been blessed with so much, or what you do have, whether it's a lot or a little. We can all be seeking that feeling of feeling grateful for what we have. And once we feel those things, then we have this desire to give and share and give to others. And it turns it outward. And that is the opposite of that pride, where it's turning it inward and saying, look at me, I can do this. And so what we're focusing on expands. And if we're focusing on what we're grateful for, what we've received, what we can give, then that is what is going to get bigger, and that is what is going to grow. So this is what I have come down to for 3 things that help me activate to turn that wherever we are, whether we're feeling discouraged or confused or lost or stuck, into 3 categories, to 3 simple things. Maybe I call them simple because I've been practicing these, and from reading the scriptures and understanding how God works, I feel like these are 3 things that he wants us to know, and that will help us activate more abundant feeling in our life. The first one, I'm going to say it again, that what we focus on expands. So it takes an effort to look. We have to look for God's love in our life. That is the activation part, is it's our choice to look or focus on God's love. Where do I feel his love? If you want to share in the chat box where you go to feel God's love for you, what is maybe your first go-to, or something that's very, you feel close to God in when you activate this action in your life, when you do this action. Maybe it's a nature walk. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's scriptures, opening the scriptures, the word of God. Maybe it's writing in your journal. Rachel says being in nature or talking with good friends. That's where she can feel connection. That's where she feels God's love. Carrie says being in the word, going for a walk, and just seeing the beauty in the sky, all the abundance of nature, the people, cars, homes, and realizing how abundant and blessed I truly am, no matter how much I think I don't have. That's really true. Like if we're looking at the things we lack, we'll see them. If we're looking for the things that we have, we'll see them. So it's really just a choice. But to activate abundance, you have to choose to look for God's love in your life. Where do you feel the Savior's love? Where do you feel God's love? The second thing is, because we are created in the image of God and we have all of the characteristics that he has created us with, the second place we can look is inside of us. We have the same characteristics that God has. And we need to, sometimes when we're lacking feeling abundant or feeling grateful, sometimes it's from some actions that we are doing to ourselves. Maybe you are looking at our physical body and looking at our spirit inside. Is there something that we are doing that prevents us from feeling God's love? So first things to look at, sorry about the dog, but I don't know if anybody else can hear it, but the dog's barking. Are these four things, like checking inside, like, how's my body? Am I doing the physical things I know I need to do? Am I nourishing my mind? What are the things that I'm listening to? Do I take time before bed to shut off outside things and sounds so that I can truly prepare my mind for bed? Let me see if I can stop the dog just a second. She's bothering my feet. She's standing by my door. Hey, I got the dog moved. So just looking inside yourself, like, is there some habit? Is there some ritual that needs to be corrected or tweaked so that you allow more peace and quietness in your life? This is also a place where I think it's really important to have a joy list, like what brings you true happiness. I have a couple of different ways of doing joy lists. One of them is being aware throughout the day, like, oh, that was just really brought me a lot of joy. Sometimes it's when the light is coming in my window in my house, and on a winter day, that light of the sunshine just peeking through my house, like, it puts a smile on my face. And so at the end of the day, I would write down on my joy list, seeing the sunshine come through the window. Sometimes joy comes from, I know that there are people who like the law of attraction. Like, for me, it's the symbol of a heart. When I see the symbol of a heart, it just connects with my spirit, and like, oh, I know God knows me. Whether it's a butterfly or the color blue or whatever it is, just those little pauses in our mind and heart of like, oh, that brought me a lot of joy to see that. And joy can be different activities too. You can make a joy list of things that don't cost money, and you can make a joy list of things that do cost money, and pick something off your joy list. And those things just really fill your heart and your spirit with happiness. So that's the second way of activating abundance, is to look inside and adjust something that's not right, or to fill it with something that is lacking if you need to feel more joy. The third step that I think works for me is to look outward. Again, we're focusing on what we focus on expands. And if our first step was to look to feel God's love, the second one was to look inside and see if I need physically to change anything or nourish anything. And the third step is then you're in a place to look outward, to give, to sometimes ask. Sometimes we need to ask somebody to talk to. Will you call me? I need somebody. I'm struggling right now. Can we go on a walk? Sometimes that connection with a person is very important in helping us activate or to start moving forward again, to get that momentum to feeling abundant again. If there's anything that comes to your mind about where you look, or how outward people or things that have, where do you look outward to give or to I think outward is both. Sometimes you're ready to give, and sometimes you need to ask for outside help to help support you. So it kind of goes both ways. So if there's anything that comes up and you want to share that, that's great. But so those are the 3 steps that I really feel like have helped me activate more abundance in my life. And I'm glad that I am able to share this, and I hope it's something helpful to somebody else of understanding how abundance might show up in their life. And how you can tune into more of a feeling of abundance and see it from a different perspective than you've seen before. To me, it's just added a lot of momentum and movement in my life, in my growth. And if any of this speaks to you and you would like to go deeper on any of these areas, I am interested in connecting with you. Having you on the Zoom call is one way that I get to understand and get to know people and what they want more of. And my real desire is to connect with you after this. Like, let's have a conversation about this. Let's check in and see where you are and what you want more in your life. And I'm offering to meet one-on-one with anybody that's on this call, and let's see where you are. Let's see what direction you want to go and how you can move forward. I have a few different packages and programs that I am doing, and I'd love to see if there's one that would fit in your needs. So after this call, I'm going to connect. What you could take action in, if this is something that you feel is helpful or inspiring, why don't you take action to contact me and let me know your feedback and where you're at. And it goes both ways. I can reach out to you too. So I'm just going to share what Carrie had said. Love this. The breakdown the breakdown of abundance and seeing it as an active participation. It's not something that just drops in my lap. I have to look for it, and then I will see and feel it. That is exactly what I was trying to share. So thank you. Becky Stratton says, look for simple ways to give. A smile for a stranger in passing, compliment others, expressing your positive thoughts. That is so good to share with others. You never know where somebody else is in that day or what has just happened. And the smallest thing can make the biggest difference. So all of those little things trigger and activate that feeling of feeling more abundant. So I thank you for being here. And that is the end. That's all I have. So I am going to, I'll send the recording out. And if you want to listen to it again, if you want to share it with somebody, that's great. But I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to connecting with you. Thanks.